Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Everything is Tragic with Hilary Starr. I am your host, Hilary Starr. Welcome, everyone. Brand new episode. Christmas is in a few days, which I thought was a perfect time to make this episode. Today, we're going to talk about Christmas and why it just doesn't feel as magical as it did when we were kids. And there are many reasons for it, life changes, things change around us, we adult, we grow up, but I want to dive into those reasons, kind of like have a conversation about it. I even asked you guys a question. I'm going to get to all of your responses towards the middle/end of this episode, but I've just been feeling very off. And obviously a lot of it has to do with my poor mental health, my deteriorating mental health on a daily basis. But we are going to get into kind of like why I feel like that and tie that into the holidays and how I always assumed that when Christmas came around that I was going to be happy, that, because I've always said that Christmas was when I was my happiest. Christmas is always when I get unbelievably happy, like no matter what is happening, I get so happy. And somehow this year and last year and the year before and the year before that, it just has not been feeling good anymore. And it makes me really sad because, again, I'm sitting here in my living room. My Christmas tree isn't even on, and I didn't even decorate it properly. It looked nice at first, but then I don't know, my decorations just aren't it. Things are kind of falling apart, and it's like there's no specific thing going on in my life that would have me feeling depressed. You know what I mean? And that's the worst type of depression to have. It's the depression that's triggered by nothing. It's the depression that's triggered just by existing. And it's like nothing is happening that would trigger my depression, but somehow it's still here. So we're gonna jump into this episode. I wore a pretty festive sweater that has a bleach stain. I bought it like 2 years ago at H&M, and I refuse to throw it out because it's Mickey Mouse and it's festive. So I decided to wear it. So we're gonna kind of jump into it, and I was thinking about like a good title, and it was I came up with, can Christmas ever feel magical again? Because we go through our lives with having Christmas, enjoying Christmas as kids. It's a very magical time in our lives where we experience so many things around us, and we have so much fun, like seeing the lights and seeing the tinsel and the twinkle and the movies and the food and waking up to open presents. And now it kind of just feels so sad and so like empty. And like obviously the people that probably feel magic as adults are probably people that have kids that like can give that magical feeling to their kids and see their kids living through that, kind of, and like living through their kids. If you have kids, let me know if that kind of helped you restore your faith in the holidays and kind of like feeling magical again because you have kids and you give them that holiday experience. Because then if that's the case, then I'm about to pop out like 4 kids because things are just not feeling magical at all. So I have so I started writing notes when it comes to my episodes, and I always write like a short little intro to kind of like grasp the main idea. And I put, the older I've gotten, the less excited I get for the holidays. Why is that? I feel like a lot of I already fucked up. I said I feel like a lot of hit. All right, get back to your emotional state. All right. This is like a very calming, soothing, but very real and raw episode because I wish I could make it funny, but this topic kind of makes me sad because this is something I'm supposed to feel happy about, but it's just not giving what it used to give. But okay, so back to the intro, if you will. The older I've gotten, the less excited I get for the holidays. Why is that? I feel like a lot of it has to do with post-pandemic, because many of us have gotten more depressed, anxious, and broke these past few years, that not even the holidays can cheer us up. Why is that? So I feel like that's a good way to kind of introduce the topic of holidays and what holidays mean to us, what have they meant to us when we were kids, all the way up until now. And, you know, when it comes to this podcast, we got to be organized. We got to start from the beginning, move a little bit into the middle, and then go all the way up to the present. Why, like, you know, now as that we're older. So a few talking points that I have here: why Christmas was so much fun growing up, and what was it like for me growing up. So Christmas for me growing up was an unbelievably magical and exciting experience. You know, my dad used to dress up as Santa Claus before I discovered the Santa Claus costume in the basement, but he used to dress up for the holidays. He used to be Santa Claus, even Thanksgiving. Like, I'll throw in Thanksgiving in this episode because even Thanksgiving doesn't feel the same anymore. Like, I don't know. But so, you know, growing up, my parents made sure to give me like a great experience when it came to Christmas. So, you know, my mom decorated early. I got a lot of presents growing up. You know, I can say that I feel very blessed and fortunate to say that my parents did everything they could to give me that very American, like, good feeling Christmas. And I'm very appreciative of that because it's something that I cling on to even today. So Christmas back then was like my cousin used to coordinate dances, and we used to dance. We used to do performances. I know some of you out there are like shaking your head yes, because y'all were doing performances too. Don't act like you weren't. Yeah, I was always Rudolph, and we would do like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. We would do renditions of like our favorite Christmas movies. Like, there was this Rudolph movie that I grew up watching that not a lot of people watched, but it was my favorite version of Rudolph. And we used to dance to that soundtrack. Let's see, what else do I have here? It's like in bold letters. I was happier. And I'll get more into that later, but I feel like a lot of the reason why many of us are feeling like the holidays just aren't doing what they're supposed to do is because we're all depressed. We're all so tired mentally, physically, emotionally. We're all anxious. Nothing feels right anymore. Everything feels so wrong. With the things that have gone on in this world these past few years, especially since the start of the pandemic, things feel very dystopian. Things feel so like, is this really happening right now? And I feel like this plays a huge part into how we get affected mentally, and how the things that usually make us happy don't make us happy anymore. So I associate a lot of why I don't feel that magical feeling of the holidays. I associate that a lot with my depression, because the Christmas holidays season feels the same for a lot of people. There's that small majority of people that still feel, and I'm talking adults, young people, kids, that still have that joyous, excited feeling with the holidays. You know, they feel the holidays in their soul. And then there's us, the people that just don't fucking feel it. And we're like, why? Guys, it's because we're depressed. It's because we're just so done with the bullshit and so exhausted. We're so mentally drained that we cannot give an ounce of excitement towards the holidays, which you would think would automatically make you happy with the movies and the food and the pajamas and the socks, but it's just not enough anymore. And it's so sad to say that, you know, Christmas for me just isn't enough to make me happy. And that's where it gets very deep and very sad, because that is what used to get me out of my worst depression phases, you know? And I'm talking like in my teenage years when I used to get depressed. The holidays were when I kind of like rejuvenated and got better and I felt better. But now that I'm 27 and my depression has not only gotten worse, but has gotten pretty debilitating, now it's like, this does nothing to me. A garland that I had on the stairs, it's like on the railing of the stairs, it fell a few days ago. I have not picked it back up. It's like hanging off of my stairs, off of the railing, and I have not fixed it. There was even like a decoration, a Christmas decoration that I had on my coffee table and I took it away. I put it away. And I replaced it with my usual decor because so I don't want to get into it yet, but I'm just going to say this. Decorating really early, especially as someone that's depressed, made the decorations feel like it's just a part of my regular home decor, and it just doesn't feel magical. And so I feel like I fucked up decorating really early, and I don't want to hear you people going like, oh yeah, we told you decorating early. Well, the reason why I decorated early was because it was helping me with my depression, with my anxiety, with that feeling of feeling low and empty, and the feeling of decorating with putting on the Grinch in the background and the lights and the trees and all the sparkly, glittery things. It made me happy. But I did that shit a few days before Halloween. Fast forward to now, these decorations have become a part of my home, and I'm just like, can I take these down already? So for next year, 100%, no matter how excited I get, I'm going to wait until at least late November, mid-November, if anything, to decorate. So going back, but I'll get more into that later. So going back to me growing up, I saw this TikTok. Andrew, my husband, actually showed it to me, and it encapsulated why we get the way that we get for the holidays in the perfect sense. I can't find it, but the guy basically said that we grew up with having Christmas presented to us. All of the magical things that were happening around us were given to us by other people. So it was magic happening all around us. The Christmas parties, we were the kids, we were just experiencing things. Now, as adults, we're creating our own magic. We're the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. We're the ones doing everything and showing the world and showing ourselves pretty much the magic. When in reality, we know what the magic is. We know what it is. So I feel like we lose that innocence as kids where it feels so new and fresh, and like the thought of Santa, the thought of waking up at 6 a.m. to open presents, it is something that is given to us. It's something that's presented to us by the adults. Now that we're the adults, we don't have anyone to show us the magic except going to the Rockefeller tree or, seeing the decorations in Manhattan if you live in New York. But other than that, we create our own magic. We're the ones buying Christmas presents. We're the ones wrapping it. When back then, it was people wrapping our presents and giving them to us. We were just opening them, throwing the wrapping paper to the side. Your dad is like picking it up and like trying to keep order in the house. The music, the Christmas music is blasting. And I'm getting emotional. I knew that this episode would hit me hard because the holidays are not easy anymore. It's not as fun as I wanted it to be, and it breaks my heart that I wanted to give myself this very holiday-like experience, but it just doesn't feel the same anymore. And I'm scared that it's never gonna feel the same, that it's never gonna feel magical. But I'm trying to give myself solutions so that way next year it can be better, because I am not one to give up when it comes to celebrating the holidays and feeling cheerful and happy. I want to continue feeling that way. So I'm going to try my best to keep finding ways to make myself happy. So Christmas growing up was also fun because it was the 90s. I associate a lot of the sadness that we feel and the emptiness because of all the social media. You were entitled to your own experience and you didn't see what everybody else was doing for the holidays because it was just you, your family, and that's it. Now that we have social media, we see other people spending time with their families, flying across the country to see their family, and it makes us sad because it's like, damn, I can't see my family this year, or I lost my family this year and I can't see them. And so us seeing all these people having an amazing Christmas holiday makes us even more sad. So I feel like the fact that Christmas in the 90s was so magical, it was because it was the 90s. Like, it was like, the Christmas specials on Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, and like also TV was very, very magical. Like the commercials, the M&M commercials, the Hershey's Kisses one with the bells. You guys remember those? And I feel like the holidays were so much more cherished in those early years. Whereas now, even though it was always about money back in the day, I feel like now it's way much more commercialized and more about pushing and overconsumption and consumerism. I saw a TikTok the other day of these someone walking around Target, and the Christmas decorations were already 50% off, and it wasn't even Christmas yet. Like she said, she was like, Christmas is in like a few days and these Christmas decorations are already going on sale. I went to Home Goods the other day and there were Valentine's Day decorations out. I'm like, can we just come on? Like there's just and I think a lot of it has to do with the speed of trends, and social media has really upended the, sorry, my phone just rang, I hope you guys didn't hear that. Social media has really increased the speed of overconsumption. Like, we need new things every week, we need new trends every week, we need something new to be shown to our faces every week. So I think that's why every year the Christmas decorations have been coming out earlier and earlier, and it's insane. Like, I saw Christmas decorations at Home Goods beginning of October. I'm not even kidding. It was beginning of October and I saw the Christmas decorations. Whereas like before it was like maybe late October, beginning November. Now it's like fucking September. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, it was like late September that I saw little snippets of Christmas decorations here and there at like Target and Home Goods. So that kind of goes back to my point of the fact that it was the 90s. Like, the holidays were so much more cherished and more lived, and like the movies were amazing, the TV specials, like everything was so special in the 90s. And also, we were younger. If you have cousins, we were kids, we all spent time together. Now that we're adults, I barely see my cousins. My cousins are my best friends. I love them so much. I barely see my cousins. I barely see my aunts and uncles. And I don't live that far. But again, I've been busy this year, and I've been busy this year. Like, my mental health has taken over me in such a bad way that I've neglected seeing my family. And it's one of those things that really helps me when I feel depressed and really down, like staying at my cousin's and like just hanging out for hours, talking about nothing, getting food, and even going to my parents' house. Like, it's something that fills me up as a person. It makes me feel so good. But my mental health has become so bad that like I don't even have the physical energy to like go visit them. And it's like, it'll make you feel so good, but it's like, why do we do that to ourselves? Like, I know it makes me feel good to go see my family, and I know the simple solution is get dressed, go to your car, and go see them. But even something like that sounds so exhausting. And if you suffer from depression, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The most minuscule thing, whether it be grocery shopping, doing your hair, brushing your teeth, it is something that to some people it's like, just fucking do it. To us, that shit is way too much to ask for, which is why a lot of us don't get out of bed. We don't shower, we neglect our spaces, we don't clean up. But me, I have neglected not seeing a therapist, which is horrible. I really do need to start seeing a therapist again. But I have trained myself to not let my depression get the best of me. Like, I think I haven't hit my ultimate low because I haven't let myself get to it. This is like a Christmas episode, but it's also like a mental health episode, because Christmas and the holidays can really be associated with our mental health and how we're feeling. And the things that you guys told me in the responses that I'll get to later, a lot of it has to do with our mental health and how we've been feeling. So I have been not neglecting my depression, but sort of kind of like keeping myself on my toes, where it's like, come on, we're not going to let ourselves get sad. If I leave a little mess, I pick it up immediately. If I am about to go to bed, I'm like, brush your teeth before going to sleep. Please please. If I wake up in the morning and I get that ounce of a feeling of not wanting to get out of bed, I'm like, sit up right now. Or if I go pee and I'm like, I just want to lay in bed, I'm like, no, 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 get in the shower. I take a shower, I brush my teeth, I make breakfast, I do something. You have to kind of like push yourself, because if you allow your brain to overpower you, you're absolutely fucked. So yeah, so I can kind of dive into it more when I get into the, being older and doing Christmas older area. But yeah, like, just I feel like people had more time to be together in the holidays in the 90s. Or is that just a personal experience for me? Because I don't know, I just feel like my family had more time to spend together. But it was also because we were all kids, and what made Christmas even more fun for me was being with my cousins. And now that my cousins are older, I have one cousin that moved to Connecticut. One of them is a cop. The other one works a lot. My other cousin works a lot as well. My other one is in college, and my sister's in college. And so we're all busy with our lives that we've kind of forgotten to kind of keep in touch and remember the importance of, the holidays and of family. So I feel like that's like a good place to kind of just like wrap up what Christmas was like growing up for me. It was such a fun and exciting and new, fresh experience for me. The movies that came out in that era, like Hello, the Grinch, the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen, the Rudolph, the Frosty the Snowman movie, the Rudolph movie that was like, I don't know what they were made out of, the clay action, is it that one? Charlie Brown, Elf. Like, I know I'm missing a lot of classic, I was gonna say Hocus Pocus, but also a classic Christmas movie, if you go that way. It was just such a time. Even Lifetime and Hallmark had some bomb-ass holiday movies in the 90s. So it's like, there was just something so new about Christmas in the 90s that I feel like not a lot of people noticed, and not a lot of people notice that we emulate that now. I saw TikToks of people decorating their houses and their trees with like very vintage looking decorations, like the multicolored Christmas lights, and decorating their homes to look like the house from Home Alone. And I found myself doing that too, where I wanted to decorate my house pretty 80s, like Christmas in the 80s or Christmas in the 90s, without it looking tacky and hideous. And I kind of got the hang of it, but again, like I said, the decor has meshed in with my day-to-day home decor that now it doesn't even feel like Christmas decorations. So yeah, so before I get into the what Christmas is like now that I'm older, I'm just so thankful that my mom recorded a lot of our Christmases, and now I have home videos to kind of remember those good old days. And every time I watch them, I cry so much. I might watch a few of them later today just to really hurt myself, because it's just, again, it's always nice to look back at good times, and I feel like that's kind of like the basis of nostalgia. It's such a bittersweet feeling, where it's so nice to remember it. It feels good. It makes you feel good. Like, you feel like, you just feel like the flutters in your chest. But then you also feel that painful, sharp, I don't know, I do. I feel like a sharp pain in my chest because it just hurts so much that I'm not a kid anymore, that it's not the 90s, that, Backstreet Boys isn't the boy band at the time right now. So it's like a hard realization that like the good times are gone. And I've heard a lot of people, whether it's like YouTube comments of like music videos that I've seen of songs from the 80s, people always say the 80s and the 90s were quite literally the best time in society. And I believe it. These are people that like actually lived through the 80s and the 90s. If you guys lived through those eras, like as teenagers, adults, where you actually remember a lot of it, let me know. Like, was it really the best time? And I honestly, I believe it. The little bit that I lived through it, from 90 96 when I was conscious, I guess, from 96 to maybe 99 and 2000. Yeah, I would say those are pretty fucking good years. Like the things that I saw, the things that I remember seeing on TV, like it looked like a fun ass time. But yeah, I want to do an episode on like nostalgia and why we cling on to it so hard. Because I'm definitely someone that clings on to my nostalgia and my childhood. I have all of my VHS tapes that I grew up with in a special drawer under my TV. No one can touch it. I still have my VHS player too, just in case one day I fester up, or like sometimes I'll play my VHS tapes so that way they don't get damaged. Some of them have gotten damaged, so that kind of hurts. But anyways, moving on, we're going to talk about now what Christmas feels like now that I'm older. Now, this is like the heavier side, so just get ready to like really get into it with me, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of you also feel the same way. So the first thing I have here is it's less magical. Like, no shit, Sherlock. Christmas just doesn't feel as magical as it did. Like I said, Christmas feels very commercialized. It feels very very quick. It feels very like it doesn't feel like something that is being experienced like how it was before, where it was like when people celebrated Christmas and the holidays, like people celebrated it. Like people wore red turtlenecks throughout the months, like like in the 90s where people wore red turtlenecks. Like I mean, I don't see people really dressing up that festive. The ugly Christmas sweaters, like that was a thing in the 90s. And I always have to go back to the 90s because I'm drawing a comparison between like two different eras where Christmas was really celebrated versus now, where like it's celebrated, but it's like it's so modern, it's so like clean and minimal. Like, I don't know, whoever, if you're watching this and you do minimal Christmas, like, have you guys seen those minimal Christmas decors where it's like the trees made out of wood and it's like nothing, it's like sanded down to nothing, and it's just, there's no magic to it. And I'm just like, why are we putting minimalism when it comes to Christmas? Like, that can be implied for like, a way of living. Let's overconsumption. Let's not buy so much things. That's 100%, I can get behind that. But with Christmas decorations, come on, you gotta add some glitter and sparkles. These rustic Christmas trees that I see, like, I don't know, I guess I'm a very old-timey, like traditional fake pre-lit Christmas tree with the big ornaments. Like, some of the things I see now, I'm just like, why does everybody want to make everything so modern and clean cut? The magic of Christmas is like very colorful, and now it's like white lights only, and it's like, no. But I mean, I'm kind of like that, where I only like yellow lights. I don't like colored lights because it looks weird, especially in my house, because I decorate inside my house. So it feels less magical. Overconsumption, consumerism has really ruined the holidays for me. And then we get into the pandemic, which is probably the biggest like tell-all for why Christmas doesn't feel the same anymore. I remember Christmas in 2020. It just wasn't it. And I think I went to my aunt's house, but again, it was there wasn't the excitement. Like, my family and we used to play games when we were younger. Like, there was just more excitement in Christmas, and that Christmas of 2020 was very like calm and like laid back and chill. And my cousin was downstairs and he wasn't coming upstairs to like be with the family, so it was like, it just felt like a disconnect. There was definitely like a weird disconnect. And then 2021 was kind of the same thing. And now 2022, I'm going to my mom's house, going to my parents' house, and we're not celebrating it together, which I hate, because I love celebrating Christmas with my family. And when I mean by my family, I mean like not just my mom and dad, but also my aunts and uncles and cousins. Like, that's That's how I celebrate Christmas. That's how I like to celebrate it, you know? So, Christmas was still fun. I was spending time with my family. But again, it's just that feeling of like we're all older. We all developed our mental health issues. Our parents are getting older. They're going through their emotional issues. And it just, you can tell, you can feel the lessening of the excitement with the holidays, how like the holidays just don't get you as excited as they used to. And even like when I was a kid, my parents seemed happier in the holidays, and even seeing like the home videos, like my family just seemed so much more happy. And now my family, everybody just looks so tired. Everybody looks so exhausted, and it hurts me because it's like I wish I like really told myself as a kid, like, remember this moment, remember it well, tell your mom to continue making more videos so you can really remember it, because it's not going to be like this forever. It's actually gonna be worse. It's gonna suck when you get older. I wish, like, if my younger self was watching this, I would be like, enjoy the fuck out of it, buy your own camera and record every single Christmas yourself, because it's not going to be the same anymore. And I hope you can find peace in that. But moving on with Christmas and what it's like being a grown adult. So we have all become more depressed. I know that. I know that there's not a single person on this earth that has not been feeling somewhat of a depressive feeling, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic. Now it's just things are not the same anymore. After the pandemic, I feel like we already became so desensitized to things that make us happy. A lot of things that made us happy in the past don't make us happy anymore. I know that from personal experience, i.e. the holidays for me. The holidays used to make me so happy pre-pandemic. Now they don't. There's a lot of things, like even holiday movies, like they'll get me excited when they're playing in the background, but once the movie's gone, I'm back to feeling how I was feeling. I also don't think, I wish I was like a psychologist so I can better explain it. I don't think people understand how much the pandemic has changed our brain chemistry and how our brains have responded to that trauma. And the way that my brain responded to it is I became more anxious. I became more of a hypochondriac. Is it hypochondriac? Where like I diagnose myself with shit all the time. I'm always scared of getting sick. I've become more antisocial. I've become more anxious with interacting with people. I get more visibly uncomfortable when I talk to people I don't know in public. Like my face gets red. I start stuttering, and it's like, why am I like this? Because I was never like this, So the pandemic is like an episode of itself with like how it changed us as people, as a society. Crime has gotten bad. The war in Ukraine, Donald Trump, like all these things, the Roe versus Wade being overturned, the George Floyd protest. Guys, we went through a whole lot of shit. We saw a lot of shit. News is constantly being put in our heads. On a daily basis. Every second that you're on your phone, you're consuming so much at once, and your brain can't process all that sometimes, that you overstimulate yourself and you overwhelm yourself. That's why TikTok for me has, can we talk about that? How TikTok has become so exhausting. I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing it too on TikTok and people commenting about it. But TikTok for me has become so exhausting. I can't find myself scrolling like how I used to anymore. I used to be able to scroll on TikTok for hours, guys, for hours. And now I find myself even skipping through short videos. Like I'll just be skipping through videos. I'll watch maybe a few videos, but then I completely get off the app. I think with the era of TikTok and fast content, it accelerated our society so much. Like trends, memes, like fashion and like home decor, even like when skincare gets pushed out, like someone tries a skincare product and that shit gets pushed out, like when everybody was trying out the face peel thing from The Ordinary and everybody was buying it because that one person put it on TikTok, and then it just snowballed into something huge. the TikTok is a gold mine for companies and businesses, but for people, it's so much information being pushed out to us. It's so much shit coming to us. Like, I don't think people realize how abnormal it is the way we consume content. Like, I'll be scrolling on TikTok and I'll see a video of like a girl just died from cancer, and I'm like bawling my eyes out. And then it'll be like some unhinged person making the funniest video, and then I'm like dying of laughter. And then I scroll, and then it's like someone reporting on the no COVID policy in China, and the way the hospitals are overflowing with people right now. And I'm just like, I'm reading the comments, I'm like, okay. And then I scroll, and it's just so much information, so much negative, positive, weird information is being pushed out to us that it's doing something to our brains, and we're not realizing it until we talk about it, and we're like, you know what, that is kind of weird. And I think that plays a lot into our feelings, because me personally, a lot of the times when I'm feeling down, I'll hit myself with there's so much going on in this world. And why do I know that? Because I'm watching way too much shit on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, and I overwhelm myself with so much information that I need to get off my phone because it's just too much. So, with the holidays coming around and us having our phones readily available for us, we're scrolling, we're looking at everything happening in the news, and then we turn off our phones and we see our Christmas tree. We see the holiday. There's a fly in here. How the fuck did that get in my house? What the fuck? I'm sorry, guys. We turn off our phones after seeing news about Russia and Ukraine, and we're like, yeah, the holidays. Back then it was like you would turn on the TV, you would watch your local news, you would watch the CNN and stuff, but you didn't have the phone. You didn't have those fast news coming at you left and right with different shit. It was what you saw and that was it. So you didn't really get that overwhelmed. Now it's all you see. And so, besides the pandemic, also social media, our phones, all this information that's being fed to us on a daily basis is gonna affect us mentally, thus making us not feel like wanting to celebrate the holidays, making us not feel magical, Another thing I have here is we create our own magic. I think I mentioned it. Andrew showed me a TikTok, and I don't remember who the guy was, but he was saying, you get everything shown to you. The magic is you experience the magic because the experience is like presented to you as a kid. Now that we're older, we give ourselves the experience. We wrap our own presents. We put the entire tree up. As a kid, you help with like a few ornaments. No, I gotta take it out of storage. I gotta take out the garland and clean up all the fucking glitter from the ground. I gotta make myself the hot chocolate. Before it was my mom bringing me the hot chocolate. And so now that we create our own holiday experience, if mentally we're not doing well, we're not going to put up the tree. We're not going to want to make ourselves Christmas cookies. We're not going to want to make ourselves the Pillsbury Doughboy holiday Christmas cookies, the sugar cookies. You know what I'm talking about? So we're not going to want to give ourselves this holiday-like experience if we're not doing well mentally. So that's why I say the holidays and our mental health plays a huge part in why the holidays don't feel like how they're supposed to feel. And it might not be, the fact that like, there's like so much stuff. It might just be you. It might just be, what you're going through mentally, which should give you hope, better your mental health so that way you can feel the holidays again, so that the holidays can feel exciting to you in some way, shape, or form, even if it might not be to the fullest extent of when we were kids. At least it'll feel somewhat good. It'll feel somewhat fulfilling. And I want that for everybody listening. And I'm holding back a lot of tears because trust me, I'm on that same boat of wanting to feel filled with happiness and joy on this holiday season. And I know there's a lot of you listening or watching that are feeling the exact same way. And I'm telling you, you are not alone. It's not easy. I'm I'm telling you, it is not easy. And I'm blessed to say that I have my family, but it's just it's not the same anymore. And it's a very sad reality, honestly. And then I kind of mentioned this in the beginning, sort of. Decorating too early made the magic kind of disappear even quicker. Like I said, I was feeling pretty depressed in the beginning of, or like towards the end of October, so that's why I decorated. But then I realized that it just was not worth it, because now the decor has become a part of my home, that I started taking down decorations early, and that's not a good sign, because it's like I should be enjoying my decorations. Usually I keep up my decorations throughout January, but now I'm like, I just want to take this shit down. I don't even want it up anymore. And it's really sad. Shopping isn't the same. Black Friday. You guys remember Black Friday? I said I was gonna sprinkle in a little bit of Thanksgiving in here. Black Friday. I don't know if you guys had experiences, or if you guys can let me know. Black Friday does not feel like how it used to feel. And I know back then I was like, why do we have to make it about shopping when it should be about family? But I low-key miss Black Friday and like the excitement of people going to stores and like shopping and stuff. Obviously it was super toxic, and the consumerism of it all was out of this world. But I feel like it was a part of the holidays, like just that excitement of buying stuff for the holidays. And now it's just, again, it's that empty, like, there's too much stuff. And I said earlier before that there was a TikTok of a girl that said that all these Target home decor, all the Target Christmas decorations were 50% off at her store. And that made me realize, like, hey, there's something going on. People aren't shopping that much anymore. I'm gonna keep saying this. If you guys can tell me too, are you guys shopping as much as you used to? Sorry, I gotta adjust the mic. Are you guys shopping as much as you used to? Because I'm not. If anything, I'm shopping a lot smarter. I'm not shopping like how I used to, because things are more expensive. Groceries are more expensive. I'm trying to eat healthier, so I'm willing to spend a little more on foods that don't kill me, but it's way too expensive to do anything, to live. And we're going into a recession, which I heard wasn't supposed to be that bad, but of course it's not going to be that bad for the fucking billionaires. Those are the people that are saying, oh, this recession isn't going to be that bad. Yeah, but what about the people living in Section 8? What about the middle class, which is being so affected by so much? Like, we are getting beat the fuck down. The middle class is the new lower class, and it's a universal experience, especially in this country. What else do I have here? Yeah, I put also that I don't see my family as much. I kind of explained like me being depressed and me not living as close to them as I did before. And also, like, my family is busy. They all have their lives. They're all just as depressed as I am. And we're all going through it. So the holidays, just like how they're not feeling magical for me, probably isn't feeling magical for them. So you kind of feel that energy, especially now that I'm older, now that I'm more aware of, everybody's mental health and kind of like how they're feeling. You kind of become more aware of that. And the final point that I want to make is holidays with multiple family members. So I'm married, and I was with Andrew for a total of 9 years. So if throughout our years as a boyfriend and girlfriend, if we didn't celebrate the holidays together, that was fine. But now as a married couple, it has become so complicated celebrating the holidays. I love Andrew's family, but I want to spend the holidays with my family, and I will not negotiate not spending the holidays with my family. I don't give a fuck what they say. I'm spending the holidays with my family over my dead body. Bring my corpse to my family's house and just prop me up by the Christmas tree, because we're spending the holidays together, bitch. So Andrew's parents are divorced, and so it makes it even more complicated because it's like different holidays, and like different families that we have to like pick and choose who we're going to spend time with. Whereas my family, it's like just one big family. Whereas now my mom is like, oh, we're going to celebrate it just us. And then I'm like, what about my aunt? I want to go to my aunt's house because I want to be with my cousins. So I love Andrew's mom, but And I understand, like, she wants to spend time with us. She wants to be with us. She wants to kind of spend the whole day with us. But she has to understand that I'm a mama's girl. I'm a daddy's girl. I need to be with my family too. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to spend all of Christmas with you guys. Like, I can do half and half, but she kind of doesn't negotiate that. And that's where it gets frustrating. Andrew's dad, he's a little more chill with it. He doesn't really care. And Andrew doesn't care either. He just wants to be where the food is. It's more Andrew's mom that kind of made it a little anxiety inducing for me, where I'm like, wait, what do I do? Because I want to please everyone. I don't want to make anybody upset. I don't want to make anybody sad. So it kind of puts me in a spot where I'm like, how do I please everybody at once? Because my mom also doesn't care. It's literally just Andrew's mom, and I want her to be happy, but I also want to be with my family. So I don't know about all that, girly girl. So now for the last talking point. This will be a quick one, and then I'll get to your responses to the question that I asked you on my Instagram. So how I put here, how I make Christmas feel more magical for me. So the number one thing I said is improve my mental health. You guys, take my advice with a grain of salt. Everything applies differently to other people, but always prioritize your mental health, because it'll affect you in everything in your life. Everything, guys. And the way you dress, the way you eat, the way you think, the things that you do, the way you socialize, the people you become friends with, the people you get into relationships with, your relationships with your families, your jobs. Your mental health can literally manipulate the fuck out of you and take control over you completely. So it's very important to prioritize your mental health before thinking about putting up a Christmas tree, okay? It's easier said than done, but you guys know what I mean. So this is more personal for me, but also I need to go out more. I've been at home and I have not left my house. Like, all of November, I've been at home and I have not gone out. I haven't seen the tree. I haven't really experienced Christmas. So if you're going through that too, where your depression has led you to not leave the house, try to leave the house. If it's cold around you, bundle up, go see some lights. And honestly, it's helped a lot. Like, even yesterday I went to Whole Foods and I was driving through like a bougie neighborhood, and I saw all the Christmas decorations and I was playing Christmas music, and that slowly started making me feel like, oh shit, it's the holidays. So I would incentivize you to go out more, experience Christmas in the way that you remember doing it as a kid. And for me, it was driving around, seeing the houses, which leads me to my next point. My best friend, Maddie, girl, Maddie, I know you're watching. She's coming to New York from Hawaii, and she's never experienced New York during Christmas and New Year's. And we're going to spend New Year's together. I cannot begin to tell you how, like, I'm getting emotional because I'm so happy. I hate that she's not going to be here for that long, but I have told you guys that I've been feeling very lonely lately. Just the feeling of like not feeling wanted by people. I'm trying to not cry right now, but lately I've been feeling like I'm not wanted by people. Like, people don't want to be my friend. And it means a lot to me that someone wants to fly all the way over here and spend New Year's with me and like do all the holiday shit that I want to do, but I didn't have anyone to do it with. Like, yeah, I have Andrew, but I'm talking about like a friend. Like, I didn't have a friend to do it with. So I hope she's ready, because she's coming on the 28th and she's spending like a week and a half here, I think. And we're going to do everything. We're going to the bars that are Christmas themed. I want to take her to see the tree, even though that area is bombarded with people. There's so many people in that area this year, more than I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, I want to take her to see the tree. I want to take her to Brooklyn, to Dyker Heights, because they have that's like a bougie neighborhood, and people hire decorators to decorate their houses for Christmas, because it's a whole experience. If you've never heard of Dyker Heights in Brooklyn, look up Dyker Heights Christmas lights or Christmas decorations. It's insane. It's like a whole neighborhood and of rich people, and they hire people to decorate their homes for Christmas. But it's like mansions, and like they make like experiences where you can walk through their houses. It's super nice. So yeah, so I can't wait for my friend to come because I can enjoy that little bit of Christmas spirit with her and kind of get that feeling just a little bit. And Andrew's happy for me because he's like, you've been feeling very lonely. And I feel bad because it's not Andrew. Andrew doesn't make me feel lonely, because like, oh, you live with him, you're married to him. How can you feel lonely? Like, you can feel lonely being in a room full of 1,000 people. You can feel lonely being with your friends. Like, it's a feeling that I quite don't know how to put into words, but I've just been feeling so lonely lately that I need a friend. And Andrew's my best friend, but I need someone else to like just share the holidays with and like do stuff with. So having someone come over that has never experienced New York during Christmas, I cannot wait, especially her. There's no one else that I would rather do it with. I mean, honestly, I wish all my friends from Hawaii can come, but they all got their plans. I love you guys so much. So I'm gonna get into the responses. There are so many responses for this. I'm gonna quickly skim through them because my camera is showing that it's about to die, so unfortunately I have to speed it up. But so someone said it doesn't feel like Xmas because Miami weather, but also didn't buy much gifts. I mean, I consider this a flex. I would never want to live in a hot place during the holidays because how do you feel the Christmassy feeling without snow, without the cold weather, without cuddling up with hot chocolate? Like, imagine drinking hot chocolate and wearing a sweater in Miami. Could ever be me. But y'all stay safe out there. Next one. I think it's my first real experience of Christmas as an adult. You don't feel the magic. And yeah, that just goes back to us giving ourselves the experience of Christmas and it just not feeling the same like when our parents used to do it for us. Let's see, exhausting with a 3-month-old, but excited for the years to come. See, like, that's exciting. Congratulations on your baby. 3 months, that's that era of like you're still learning how to be a new mom and it's an experience, but just wait a few years, they'll get older. A lot of people say it gets easier. Hopefully it'll get easier for you. Holidays suck. Year went too fast and everything is so expensive. I cannot begin to tell you guys how much I've been saying that to Andrew throughout the year. I was like, is it just me or is the year going by unbelievably fast, like faster than I've ever seen it before? And there was actually a TikTok that NASA released a report that, what was it, that we were rotating, is it the sun that rotates around us or we rotate around the sun? One of those. It's spinning faster than usual, which is making the days go by quicker. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot of fucking sense. But yeah, someone's like, it sucks. Stressful because I'm a business owner for the health wellness field. We get booked, no break. Well, at least you can say you get booked. You are booked and busy. But yeah, no, I can tell, like, I mean, owning a small business, especially during the holidays, like a restaurant or something that would kind of pick up during the holiday season, I can see that being stressful. But, drink a little hot chocolate when you go home, get a little bit of Bing Crosby in those AirPods and just get in that holiday season. We haven't even decorated at my house because it just feels so bland this year. I would recommend, like, at least put a few decorations up. You might be surprised. Like, you think it's not going to do much, but like I said, like, shit, sorry guys. You might be surprised. It might make you feel a little better. So I would recommend decorating, like, just a little bit. Very weird. Like, I'm still excited for Christmas, but everyone else seems cranky. Yeah, we're all fucking pissed. Honestly, people get more stressed out during the holidays, I've noticed, and more sad because also, I didn't mention this before, but there are people that lost family members, especially after the pandemic. But there are people that lost family members and they get very depressed during the holidays. Like, and this is like universal. This is something that people have been dealing with for decades. The holidays for us, for the ones that say, oh, it doesn't feel as magical, we've always experienced it as a good thing. A lot of people might associate the holidays with it being such a negative and sad thing. And honestly, my heart goes out to them, because they might have lost a family member. They probably didn't have a good upbringing, and the holidays were the worst. So it's always important to like recognize those people, and you might come across them at a store, or they might act like a Karen. And so me, I always play the empathy card, where I'm just like, they might be really going through it, especially in the holidays. Kind of vacant, joyless, expensive as fuck. Not even expensive, expensive. It is expensive, honey. I don't buy Christmas presents. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I don't buy Christmas presents for people. Only because, like, again, I'm not going to stress myself out. Like, if you think that a Christmas present is going to tell you how much I love you and care about you, you are clearly gone too far in the consumerism pyramid scheme. Like, there's no way of helping you. Christmas presents aren't the way to a person's heart. It's a good way to show them, hey, here's a gift. Here's a way of showing you appreciation. But if that's all you base Christmas out of, because Christmas isn't just about the gifts. It makes Christmas more exciting, 100%. And it's not that I would never buy people gifts. It's the fact that things are so expensive that I can't really afford to buy people presents, because everything is just so fucking expensive. I've seen TikToks of people being like, oh my God, I just bought Christmas presents for my mom, dad. And I'm like, oh, so you got money. Either that, or you buy presents earlier in the year, which is something that I always say I'm going to do, and then I never do. Like, people buy presents earlier in the year, and then throughout the months leading up until Christmas, they buy presents for people in their family, friends, everything. And then they don't have to worry about bulk buying all these presents at the end of the year. It's been bland. I work in healthcare, and it all seems to mush together. No one is jolly. First of all, thank you for everything that you do in the healthcare field. I feel like because there's so many people getting sick nowadays, are you guys experiencing this where you guys live? Everybody is getting sick, whether it's RSV, some virus, the flu, COVID. There is something going around that everybody is getting sick. And I went out yesterday, I went out the past few days, and I don't know if it's also because like I'm talking in a low tone and I'm forcing my like the bass in my voice to just go really deep, that it's causing a strain. But like I feel like my throat being a little scratchy, and I'm scared and becoming a hypochondriac yet again. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. I feel like it's not the same because we're adults now and everyone is starting to go their own ways. So it's not as big of a gathering anymore, and it's rare when the whole family comes together. That's what I mean. Like, the older you get, the least you see your family, and because everybody's living their lives, everybody's, getting older. Our parents are getting older, they're going out less. So everybody's doing their own thing, and families don't come together that much anymore, especially when you don't have that person that kind of keeps the family together. Like in my family, my cousins, there's the oldest cousin. He's the one that kind of kept us together with let's go to the movies together, let's go to a concert together, let's go out to eat. And he moved to Connecticut. So after he moved, I was talking about this with my sister. After he moved, I have not really hung out with my cousins like that, because he was the glue that kind of kept us together. And he was also the one around the holidays to kind of bring us together in that sense too. So it's really sad. It really makes me very sad every time I think about it. The holidays feel like dodgeball, dodging getting sick, dodging people's invites. This one's funny because it's like you want to get invited, but you also don't want to get invited by certain people over to their house for the holidays, because I feel like you have to like certain people to want to spend the holidays with them, and that's just so funny. This one says, not financially all the way there to give my family and friends gifts. And honestly, I say, don't feel pressured. Give what you can, and if not, I'm pretty sure your family and your friends would understand that. It's just hard. It's not easy in the holidays, especially with how expensive things have been lately. I'm pretty sure people don't expect a lot of gifts this year unless they're wealthy. It has not been easy. Things have become so expensive. The last few years haven't felt Christmassy, so I'm forcing it to feel Christmassy. We're all just forcing ourselves. Isn't that like, we're so human? We're such simple creatures. Like, like human psychology and like the study of people, like we are such simple creatures. Like we get excited over a tree that has lights on it. Like when you really think about it, I tell Andrew that all the time. Like I love studying people. I love those videos of people going about their day, like walking their dog, watering plants, like the people that record other people, like food shopping or like doing normal things. And I'm just like, we're so simple. We're so cute. Like humans can be really cute sometimes, like when we just do like simple things. And look at us around the holidays. We try to make ourselves happy by putting a tree up with a bunch of lights and to feel the least amount of happy. Sorry. Like I was saying, we do the most we can to feel the slight bit of happiness. Me watching The Grinch, I can't tell you how many times I've watched The Grinch these past few months to feel some form of happiness, and it's helped, but it's not the same. Currently have a sinus infection and have to drive home on Christmas Eve in a blizzard. Oh my god, first of all, please drive safely, and second of all, feel better. I also think that's what it is. A lot of people are getting sick, and nobody wants to do anything, and it's such a horrible feeling to be sick that it just makes you not want to celebrate anything. You don't want to decorate. You don't want to do shit. So I think I pretty much covered everything. I am pretty drained right now. This episode made me feel a little sad, so I'm gonna go make myself happy. I'm gonna put on, I just started the show Veep on HBO Max. I've been watching so many TV shows, guys. I've gone through so many. I just finished Silicon Valley on HBO Max, that show, and I don't even like tech stuff like that, but that show had me on the floor dying with laughter. I've been watching so many TV shows. I kind of want to do an episode diving deep into my depression and what I do, because I feel like a lot of people like listening to podcast episodes, because I love listening to like self-help, and everything is subjected to the individual. Like not everything that I do is going to work for you, but I feel like I can help people kind of maneuver their depression in like how I do it, because it's things that help me, so maybe it can help you. Again, if you have any episode ideas, you guys can always DM me. My social media, I will have it. I'm going to start putting my social medias here so you guys can start following me. For those of you that are discovering me solely on Spotify, hi, how are you? But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you all have an amazing holiday. Do everything you can to make yourself as happy as possible. Focus on yourself. And if you have kids, focus on yourself and your kids. But always prioritize your mental health, because kids notice everything. I used to know when my mom would be sad, and that was the worst thing in the world, and I would try to make her happy the best that I can. So focus on your mental health. Take care of yourselves, because we're going through it, but at least we're all going through it together. And I hope that this video kind of helped you guys sort of find ways to make yourself happier and also not feel so lonely with what we're going through as a people right now. But I love you all. Take care. Bye.